Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. So today we're diving into something a few of you have requested.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Islamic approach to
Oh, yeah.
nourishing the soul.
I like it.
And I'll be honest, I wasn't quite sure what to expect.
Ugh.
But this article we have, it's called Nourishing the Soul, a holistic Islamic approach.
Mm.
It's packed with some surprisingly practical advice.
Yeah, it is really fascinating how it takes a concept that, could so easily drift into just sort of vague spirituality,
Right.
but it grounds it in concrete actions and ways of thinking.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, just about feeling good. It's about aligning your actions
Right.
with your beliefs and constantly seeking knowledge
Mhm.
to deepen your understanding. But before we get ahead of ourselves, maybe you can help unpack
Sure.
what nourishing the soul even means from an Islamic perspective.
Well, the article draws a lot from Imam Ibn al-Qayyim,
Okay.
who outlined several key elements: knowledge, love of Allah, remembrance of Him, seeking closeness to Him, and dedicating your actions to Him.
Okay, so it's not just about like meditation or just generic goodness.
Yeah.
It's more about an active, intentional connection to your faith.
Precisely. Think of it like tending a garden.
Okay.
You wouldn't just expect plants to thrive,
Right.
without water, sunlight, and care.
Right.
Our souls need these things to be fed
Yeah.
with things that strengthen our faith and bring us closer to Allah.
I love that analogy. And the article doesn't just leave us with these abstract concepts.
Right.
It gets into some specific practices like this one about saying SubhanAllah, Alhamdulillah, and Allahu Akbar 33 times each before bed.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, at first glance, I was like, is this just a ritual?
Mm-hmm.
But then I started thinking about the power of repetition.
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
The article suggests that by repeatedly affirming these phrases, declarations of Allah's greatness and expressions of gratitude, you're essentially training your mind,
Okay.
even subconsciously, to orient itself towards these concepts.
So it's like planting seeds of awareness.
Yeah, and they can influence your thoughts and actions throughout the day.
Wow. So it's not just empty words. It's about intentionally shaping your mindset.
Yes.
It's kind of like a mental workout for your soul.
Uh-huh. I like it.
But life isn't all positive affirmations and, peaceful moments.
Right.
We all face challenges, and the article delves into how Islam views those hardships,
Yeah.
which I found really insightful.
It offers a really interesting perspective. I
Yeah.
think it resonated with me. The Quran is very clear that life will test us,
Right.
but it frames these tests not as punishments,
Yeah.
but as opportunities for growth.
And there's that powerful hadith that
Yeah.
says patience during adversity is better than gratitude during prosperity.
Mm.
That really flipped the script for me.
It challenges us to really reframe our perspective on difficult times.
Yeah.
Instead of just being, thankful when things are easy, our faith is truly tested
Right.
when we face hardship. It's about how we react, how we persevere, and how we ultimately emerge from those experiences.
That's a powerful reminder, especially when you're going through a rough patch. It's not just about enduring. It's about using those challenges to become stronger in your faith.
Exactly. And this idea of trials as opportunities for growth, it ties directly into another vital element of soul nourishment:
Okay.
knowledge.
Right. The article really emphasizes understanding the Quran, not just reciting it.
Yes.
And I'm curious, as an expert, what resonated with you about that emphasis on knowledge as nourishment?
It reminded me that true faith is an informed faith. Simply accepting things at face value can leave you vulnerable. But when you delve deeper, you ask questions and you genuinely seek understanding.
Yeah.
Your connection to your beliefs becomes so much stronger and more resilient.
It's like the more you learn, the more you realize how much there is to discover, and that sparks a lifelong journey of exploration and growth in your faith. This is reminding me of that famous quote, "The unexamined life is not worth living." It seems like that applies to faith as well, right? If you never question or explore your beliefs, are you truly living them?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. It's that active engagement, that wrestling with complex ideas, that deepens our understanding and strengthens our connection with Allah. And, the article provides some really practical advice
Yeah.
on how to cultivate this kind of knowledge, especially when it comes to the Quran.
Yeah. It goes beyond simply reading the words. It's about truly grasping the meaning and applying its wisdom to our lives. I'm thinking about that beautiful quote from Abdullah ibn Masud
Yes.
that the article mentions. He said, "Whoever seeks knowledge, let him seek understanding of the Quran, for in it is the knowledge of the first and the last."
Oh, I love that quote. It always strikes me with its depth. It
Right.
highlights that timeless nature of the Quran, how it speaks to both, our past and our present, guiding us on this journey of life. It's not simply a historical text,
Right.
but a living source of wisdom.
Yeah, it makes you realize that studying the Quran isn't just about memorization or ritual.
Mm.
It's about connecting to something much greater, something that transcends time and circumstances.
Absolutely.
It's about finding guidance and meaning in every chapter and verse.
Exactly. And the article reminds us that this journey of understanding is ongoing.
Right.
It encourages us to approach the Quran with humility,
Yeah.
to continuously seek deeper meaning, and to allow our understanding to evolve as we grow.
This is reminding me of something else the article touched on, the importance of environment.
Yes,
It's not just about what we read, it's about everything we surround ourselves with, right?
that's right. The article points out that our environment can profoundly impact our spiritual well-being. It even quotes a verse from the Quran advising us to turn away from those who engage in, offensive discourse about Allah's verses.
Yeah, that makes sense. If we're constantly bombarded with negativity
Right.
or surrounded by people who undermine our faith,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a lot harder to nourish our souls.
Precisely. It's about being mindful of the company we keep,
Right.
the conversations we engage in, and even the media we consume.
Yeah.
Are we exposing ourselves to things that uplift and inspire us? Or are we allowing negativity to seep in and drain our spiritual energy?
It's like choosing healthy food for your soul.
Yeah,
You wouldn't fill your body with junk food all the time. Why would you do that to your mind and spirit?
exactly.
We have to be intentional about what we're taking in.
Such a great analogy. And, just as important as avoiding negative influences is actively seeking out positive ones.
Yeah.
The article mentions the power of early morning worship,
Mm-hmm.
even if you have to make up missed prayers later. Have you ever noticed how that time of day feels different?
I have to admit, I'm not always a morning person,
Right.
but when I do manage to wake up early and have that quiet time before the day starts,
Yeah.
it does feel special. There's a stillness and a sense of peace that's hard to find at other times.
There's something powerful about that connection with Allah before the world's distractions take over. It's like getting a head start on nourishing your soul.
Yeah.
But the article also acknowledges that life can get in the way, and sometimes our schedules make it challenging to stick to a rigid routine.
I appreciate that it doesn't present this idealized, unattainable version of spirituality.
Right.
It recognizes that we're all human,
Hmm.
and sometimes we miss prayers or fall short of our intentions.
Exactly. The key takeaway is that consistency is important,
Yeah.
but it's not about striving for perfection. It's about making the effort, even if it's not always perfect.
Right.
It's about recognizing that even small steps towards strengthening our connection with Allah can have a big impact over time.
It's about progress, not perfection. And this whole discussion about consistency makes me think about another aspect of soul nourishment that the article touches upon.
Okay.
The idea that it's not just about personal well-being, it's about becoming a better person overall.
That's a crucial point.
Mhm.
It's not about isolating ourselves in a bubble of spirituality.
Right.
It's about allowing our inner growth to radiate outward, positively impacting the world around us.
So it's not just about feeling good, it's about doing good.
Exactly. And it's interesting, the article doesn't explicitly mention this, but it got me thinking about the concept of dawah,
Oh, yeah.
the act of inviting others to Islam.
Oh, I see the connection.
When we nourish our own souls, when we cultivate peace, kindness, and understanding within ourselves, it naturally shines through in our actions and interactions. It can inspire others and even draw them toward the beauty of our faith.
So it's not about forcing our beliefs on anyone, but about embodying them so fully that they become a source of light and guidance for others.
Beautifully put. And that brings us back to the heart of this deep dive, exploring how we can cultivate that inner light, how we can nourish our souls so that we can shine brightly in the world.
This has been a fascinating conversation, and I'm feeling inspired to put some of this wisdom into practice. But I know we're not quite done yet. What else does the article have in store for us as we continue exploring this holistic approach to nourishing the soul? Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into nourishing the soul, a holistic Islamic approach. From practical exercises to profound reflections, it's been quite a journey.
It really has. It highlights that multifaceted nature of soul nourishment in Islam.
Yeah.
It's not just about individual piety. It's about engaging with knowledge, connecting with your community, and making a positive impact on the world.
And one thing that's really stuck with me is this emphasis on balance.
Mm.
It's not about, becoming a recluse and disconnecting from the world.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot where you're actively nurturing your faith while still living a meaningful life in the
Yes.
real world.
The article reminds us that, we're not striving for some unattainable ideal of perfection.
Right.
Life throws curveballs.
Yeah.
Sometimes we fall short of our intentions.
But the key is to keep returning, to keep making the effort to nourish our souls, even when we stumble.
That's reassuring because, let's face it, we all slip up
Of course.
from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about beating ourselves up. It's about acknowledging those missteps and recommitting to the journey.
Exactly. Each small step we take, whether it's a moment of sincere prayer, an act of kindness, or a deeper understanding of our faith,
Right.
it all contributes to our overall spiritual growth.
Yeah.
It's about progress, not perfection.
And that progress has ripple effects beyond our personal lives.
Right.
Right. We talked earlier about how nourishing our souls allows us to become better people and contribute positively to the world. What struck you about that connection?
Well, the article made me reflect on the idea that, our inner state inevitably influences our outer actions.
Mm-hmm.
When our souls are nourished with faith, knowledge, and good deeds,
Yeah.
it radiates outward. We become beacons of light, naturally attracting others to the beauty of our faith through our example.
That's a powerful image.
Yeah.
It's not about, preaching or forcing our beliefs on anyone, but about living them authentically
Right.
and allowing that inner light to shine through.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes. It's about embodying our faith so fully that it becomes a source of inspiration and guidance
Right.
for those around us.
This deep dive has given me so much to think about. And even though the article is rooted in an Islamic context,
Yeah.
the core principles resonate universally. The need to seek knowledge, be mindful of our environment, act with intention,
Mm-hmm.
and strive for personal growth. Those are things we can all relate to regardless of our background or beliefs.
That's the beauty of wisdom, isn't it?
Yeah.
It often transcends cultural and religious boundaries, speaking to a deeper human longing for meaning and connection.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, what soul food are you seeking in your life right now?
Mm-hmm.
What steps are you taking to nourish your own soul?
That's a profound question, and one I hope our listeners will contemplate as well. We all have souls that need nurturing, a longing for purpose and connection, and while the path may look different for each of us, the journey is ultimately about becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Beautifully said. Go on, get out there and nourish those souls. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.